Over here now and threatening. You look at the DeAngelis misses, a couple of misses would have had this within 6. But now Drew Willie can get that done. He short hops a pass to Weston Dressler, incomplete.
He hasn't been taking the sacks in this second half, but the D-line for the Montreal Alouettes have been just in his face, just making him uncomfortable. He's thrown around the rush a couple of times. That time looked like one of those rushes. I think Michael Cash again got a hand on Drew Willie as he started to go into his throwing motion.
As mentioned, Mark Trestman really happy with the progression of his front 7, and they've continued that today. 2nd and 10. Short drop, time running out. Willie dumps it off. Here's Sheets. Corey Sheets breaks a tackle. He'll score. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. And a high five from the Sheets family as their son has got this game within a touchdown. And
yeah, and the telephoto lenses come out. Take a couple of pictures of that. And what a nice run and play from Drew Willie, who's gonna, buy himself some time, doesn't like what he sees to the play side, steps up and has his check down man in Corey Sheets. And look at that speed, just runs away from the angles of the Montreal tacklers.
Breaks the tackle of Wapamo Asai, and Corey Sheets has his 10th touchdown of the year. DeAngelis adds the extra point. And suddenly, the Riders are within 5. Riders within 5. And suddenly a momentum shift. The fumble by Whitaker. Quick response by the Roughriders. There's Trent Guy on the return. Up over the 40-yard line, but take a look at the touchdown that's closed the gap.
The Montreal linebacker is not going to take Corey Sheets out of the backfield here. When he gets out on that touchdown, he's not covered. And I'm not sure if it was Shea Emery, but you can see right there, Corey Sheets is now wide open as the dump down player for Drew Willie. So he just drops him the football with no coverage on him, and he does the rest from there. Like the Montreal linebackers got up into the line of scrimmage, trying to get a little more pressure on Willie.
Alouettes had 0 first down yards in the third quarter. There's Calvillo, and Richardson drops one. Well, when you're sputtering, you need plays, and Jamel Richardson puts that on the turf.
Well, this second half for the Montreal offense, just unbelievable. The first quarter, over 150 yards, as I mentioned, on those first 2 series alone, and a 14-0 lead. And that's just, you don't see it very often. He took a peek downfield, and receivers will do that occasionally, even the great ones.
Sholigan and Lobendun check out, and Hurl and Ferry into the defense. 2nd and 10. There's Calvi over the middle, and flag flies. Pass is incomplete. Late hit on the quarterback?
It looked like it's in that area. Great timing on the close at the other end. I believe it was James Patrick from the safety spot coming up.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Saskatchewan number 90. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Brent Hawkins.
And this is where it catches you. We mentioned that in the third quarter, that these penalties creep up on you, and then right when you don't need it, that's when it happens. And Brent Hawkins takes one that would have had their defense off the field. Inside move, throw gone, and has to run into him. Could have easily pulled up or ran past Anthony Calvillo there.
First down of the second half for the Alouettes. 130 yards of penalties for the Roughriders. And Calvillo's got some time. Unloading deep, but nobody there. Nobody in the area code that time.
S.J. Green was coming from the other side all the way across the middle, and he kind of geared down when he ran into the double team. He had 2 defenders on him, and when he geared it down, that's right about the same time Anthony Calvillo launched it.
The Alouettes without the services of Brian Bratton, who scored that late touchdown in the first half that is the difference in the football game now. John Lou reporting from the sidelines that Bratton will not be back in this game. Here comes more pressure. A flag in the secondary as Calvillo is taken down.
Well, and so was S.J. Green down the field, and he was in a one-on-one with Chris McKenzie.
Eddie Russ following the official to plead his case, so I'm wondering if he's the guilty party.
Legal contact on the receiver, Saskatchewan number 39. A 10-yard penalty ends up being a first down.
Well, it's not Russ, it's Chris McKenzie who gets the call.
Yeah, I watched this down the field, Chris, and McKenzie came up on S.J. Green, and he is going to jam him at the line. Now, you can do this and stay square to the line of scrimmage and jam him, but he does a lot more than jam. He hits him, tackles him, the takedown, illegal contact, and that'll move the chains. 2 penalties now for Alouettes because they're not doing anything offensively in this second half.
Well, the Roughriders almost triple their normal penalty totals. There's Whitaker. Nifty comeback there as he slices through down to the 36-yard line.
Again, go back to that penalty by Brent Hawkins. Brent Hawkins gets a late hit on Anthony Calvillo, or the Alouettes are punting the football. Those are the ones that are coach will definitely make sure they talk about, because it leaves your defense out there, and give Anthony Calvillo a couple more opportunities and he'll make you pay for it.
Eight for Whitaker, 2nd and 2. And straight ahead, should have the first down. Inside the 35, needed to reach the 34.
Since
and
the injury,
Glenn Johnson says first down.
Yeah, since the injury, Chris, to Bratton, the Owls have gone with a little more tight end. We've seen Patrick Lebois in there. It takes a speed guy off the field for Anthony Calvillo, and he's relying now to get to either Brandon Whitaker out of the backfield or the 2 slots.
Eric Delorier, 1 wide out. And now Trent Guy on this near side. They get the ball in the hands of Green, and he drops it. And that play was developing. Looked good. He had an opportunity there along the sidelines.
Did it ever. He had some blocking set up down the field. Executed nicely. Talented athletic football player. Look at the space that he has in front of him. Safety James Patrick had come out of the middle and was actually blitzing Calvillo, so he wasn't available to help in the tackle either.
So blatant dropped by Richardson and Green in this 4th quarter. 2nd and 10. Another flag. Crosser, Whitaker. A second flag, so 2 penalties to sort of this time, and Brandon Whitaker in some difficulty again on the right knee. And this one has the athletic therapy crew out in a hurry. Second time Whitaker's required attention. This one looking a little more serious for the guy who's been the most dangerous man on the field today.
You know, I don't think this happened from contact. I think it just, when I watched Whitaker running with the football, looked like he almost stumbled, or his stride changed a little bit, and when he did, well, here's a good look at him. Watch him coming right at you. And watch this step there. A little bit out of his normal stride. Is
offside. Montreal number 18. That penalty's declined. Forward pass interference. Montreal number 18. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Richardson. 2 penalties against the same player, backing up the Alouettes, but even more concerned now, the injury to Brandon Whitaker. And while he continues to get attention, we'll step aside. TSN presents a documentary series that celebrates the 100th Grey Cup. From 8 acclaimed filmmakers come 8 unforgettable stories. Engraved on a Nation begins October 5th with the Chuck Ely story here on TSN. So Victor Anderson will replace the injured Brandon Whitaker. Headed off for the second time, 2nd and long, and another drop. That's through the hands of S.J. Green, and boy, this is mysterious stuff, isn't it?
It is. When you think about Jamel Richardson's penalty, it's a similar penalty now to Brent Hawkins. Brent Hawkins gets a penalty that's avoidable, and he keeps his defense on the field. And there's the bunch right there. As they break out of this bunch, watch S.J. Green, little jab step, comes back right where he needs it, right through his hands. But that Jamel Richardson penalty puts them in 2nd long, now takes their offense off the field because they can't convert.
They've got 5 drops for the Alouette receivers in this game. Sean White's job is to pin the Roughriders. Jock Sanders would gladly give up a single point. This one off the side of his foot and in a good spot. Sean White with a well-placed kick down at the 10-yard line.
Well, this Rider defense did a nice job in the last 2 quarters against Anthony Calvillo, and Drew Willie is trying to find his rhythm as a young quarterback in his first start. But when you think about this, Drew Willie in his first career start, to catch Anthony Calvillo in wins alone, if he had a great season, 14 win seasons back-to-back, he'd need almost 12 of them. 12 years. If he is a 500 team, he'd need almost 18 years to accomplish, starting right now in his first start, what that man's done in over 300 games.
So you're saying there's a chance?
It's mind-boggling, Chris, the numbers. It's just mind-boggling when you think about a young quarterback in Drew Willie, who's doing a nice job keeping his team in the fight here. And that Rider defense done pretty good against AC in the last 2 quarters, but in 19 seasons, on pace for over 5,000 yards. The best season for any team was 16 wins by Edmonton in '89. Even if Drew Willie had 16 win seasons, he'd need 10 of them, a decade of them, to catch Anthony Calvillo in wins.
Hard-fought 4-yard run by Corey Sheets. 2nd down, Dressler over the middle, a big catch and a 1st down for Weston Dressler. 14th time he's caught a pass to convert on 2nd down this year, among the leaders in that category.
And this is, first of all, a good throw by Willie to get it in there, take a chance when he's going to throw it into that danger zone. But I like Dressler at the other end, too. He secures the catch. He knows the importance of that 1st down there to get out of the hole, get some field position.
Yeah,
secure the catch first.
They got out of the hole. 7 minutes into the 4th quarter. This one up for grabs is picked off. Seth Williams down the sidelines and knocked out inside the 20. So Drew Willie throws the pick, and suddenly the Alouettes are back in command.
Growing pains for a young quarterback. That's Weston Dressler there. He's going to run the corner route, but again, Drew Willie is going to see 3 defenders, and he's trying to get the football in a small area. Here's one. Chip Cox underneath, so he can't throw it underneath. There's another one, so he can't lead him back to the line of scrimmage. The only option he has is try and get it up here, but that's where the 3rd defender for the Alouettes is going to come off his man, Seth Williams, and jump up in there and take that one as he tries to lead him into that deep hole. 3 defenders in there on Weston Dressler, and just a decision to throw that shouldn't have happened from Drew Willie, a young quarterback.
Williams' first interception of the year. There was a late penalty on Montreal for rough play, so back at the 30, and Calvillo's going to throw another away, and nothing is happening for Montreal on offense right now.
Well, that's why this team are in it. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are in it because the defense, since the first quarter, and really since the first 2 drives, has shut down Anthony Calvillo, and that's saying something. Richie Hall is on the right, the defensive coordinator, along with Bob Dice, the offensive coordinator, and he's called a good game in making adjustments after the first 2 series.
Now the Alouettes reset. Again, Victor Anderson, the running back, in place of the injured Brandon Whitaker, stays in the block. Over the middle, pass is caught. But we'll be short of the first down.
Matt McFerry was on defensively there for Saskatchewan. Just recent addition to the lineup, and I know that Corey Chamberlain wanted to get him in the lineup for this game specifically. Obviously, he played with great intensity, but also maybe understands Anthony Calvillo's snap counts, can help the defense in there, telling them that in this kind of formation, this is what they like to do. He, former Alouette, practiced against Anthony Calvillo many, many times.
So Sean White looking for 3 after the Williams interception. Trying to make it an 8-point game. Flag on the play.
200 yards of penalties in this game already so far, and 7 minutes to go.
Roughriders signaling it's against Montreal.
Procedure, Montreal, illegal formation, no end. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
So they'll back up 5 and have to execute it again. And this will be from 34 yards out. Makes no mistake, it's an 8-point game, and so now a touchdown and 2-point convert.
Josh Neuswander is the holder, and Sean White nails that. Was it just me, or is he yelling cheeseburger before he gets? I think he's yelling.
Well, he's not yelling Neuswander.
Cheeseburger set.
Well,
all right.
With all these penalties, you might be getting a little hungry waiting for the.
I guess.
6:42 to go. And the lead 8. See how Drew Willie responds after that interception.
It's interesting though for Drew Willie and for this Rider offense. It's setting up a lot like that Winnipeg game went last week for Drew Willie. He, did some good things in the game and then went through a real lull where nothing was happening. Threw 1 interception in that game as well, and then came back, and when they really needed a drive inside of a minute, he got into field goal range for Sandro DeAngelis with a couple of good throws and 1 run on his own. That's something he hasn't done much at all this afternoon, is take off and run. So starting to shape up a little bit like that game. Now this is Montreal, not Winnipeg.
Here's Saad Diamond Ferry, one of the kick returners back for the Roughriders. This will be Sanders from his 15. And up across the 35, we have a flag down.
Williams on the down.